G'day battlers, and today we are jumping right back into it for the new Silph Arena monthly meta for the month of December as a part of Season 4, and that is going to be the Glacial Cup. Now, if you didn't see the official announcement over on the Silph League Arena channel for the Glacial Cup, first, I recommend you do check it out because it was a bit of fun, but also for the quick recap, essentially, this is going to be in Great League as always, and you can only use Pokemon that have the typings of Dragon, Ice, Poison, Psychic, and Water. And then there are some extra bands there as well that we are going to speed around in a sec, but straight away, just looking at the typings, you can see there's some relationships already there, like Ice being super effective to Dragon, and Psychic being super effective to Poison, that sort of thing. We'll see that a little bit more as we look at the Pokemon that we are going to likely see, but speed running through those through that band list, we've got Megazord, Taria, Azumarill, Jellicent, Swampert, Defense, Deoxys, Wobbuffet, Cresselia, Medicham, Alolan Ninetales, Alolan Sandshrew, Lantern, Chinchou, and Toxicroak, all banned from this cup, so you cannot use any of those. It is only the other Pokemon that have one of those typings that you can use. But I think the best way to sort of get an understanding about what this meta is to kind of jump in to take a look at the biggest Pokemon, the best Pokemon, how they sort of match up a little bit in the meta. And this video is essentially going to be a little bit of a starting point for your journey through the Glacial Cup, so you get a bit of an idea about what you might be seeing. So 3, 2, 1, catcha! We have the Glacial Cup meta simplified infographic, a lot simpler than many other months. I only got 3 groups there, and then we've got this little side grade box down below me. So in the main group there, we have the ice types hanging in the top with the Abomasnow, the Celio, and the Lapras. In the bottom right, we have the sort of... They're not necessarily the dragons, it's dragon watery group. So we've got like the dragon as wireless. We have Gyarados, which does run Dragon Breath. I think Waterfall in this meta is actually better, but it's kind of dragony, but it's obviously got the water. And then you've got Whiscash, which is just straight water with those mud bombs. And then you've got the bottom left group, which has the Malamar, the Bronzong, Jirachi, Beedrill, and Drapion. So essentially this sort of a triangle is, I'm kind of seeing it as the Abomasnow group, the anti-Abomasnow group, and the anti-Abomasnow group. That's sort of how I'm perceiving this meta straight away, just because Abomasnow directly is one of the strongest Pokemon in the entire meta. I'm not sure if there's anything in this meta that completely does not care about Abomasnow. Everything seems to take some damage. Abomasnow is a really spammy Pokemon. It's got Powder Snow, it gets to Weather Balls really fast, and it gets to Energy Ball relatively fast as well, which is a really hard-hitting move, especially if it's something like that is going to be super effective, like if you're a Lapras and you get hit by the Energy Ball. You're not very happy as the Lapras, to say the least. But we'll jump into this main triangle first, and then we'll talk about the side grades. So jumping in, we've got the ice types there with that Abomasnow, Celio, and Lapras, and they aren't all of the ice types, but I feel like they're sort of the main ones. Abomasnow, spammy, as we just said before. Celio, also spammy, has the Body Slam spam, and then Lapras, a really bulky sort of Icemon. So overall, like in between that group, they're really neutral against each other, and none of them have like a hard cut advantage over the other ones. Like even though I just said like Abomasnow had the Energy Ball before, it also has the Grass typing, so it actually doesn't like eating ice moves as much as the other two. So it's a bit neutral there. As far as the sort of dragony group, they're all going to beat them, I think, in most shield scenarios, except Lapras, interestingly, does actually struggle with Zweilous a little bit. I think Zweilous tends to win the one shield, assuming that all, like, shields and baits go how they're sort of intended to go, and assuming you are running that Surf Skull Bash Lapras. I think there is potential to run Ice Beam Lapras in this meta, but you just have to sort of wait and see how that sort of plays out. But yeah, Lapras can struggle with that Zweilous a little bit. And then in the other group, it is generally beating the whole group. The Malamar. Malamar's got superpower, so that obviously hurts the ice types. We've got Jirachi and Bronzong that just don't care too much about their moves and kind of just output a lot of damage onto the ice types. Then you've got Beedrill, who has the Poison Jab. Now Beedrill is and Drapion, who has Poison as well. The poison types are very much there specifically to counter the Abomasnow. They're not as good at countering the Celio or the Lapras, but they really just trying to hit on that grass typing at the Abomasnow. And they also have a bit more play up against the rest of their own group. We'll talk about that in a little bit, just because they have the dark type. Beedrill has Drill Run, which obviously hurts the steel types, also hurts the ground type, that might be running around. And then also we've got things like the Drapion, who has the access to Crunch, which is also going to be super effective to Bronzong and Jirachi, on top of just being able to kind of annoy everything else in the meta. But keeping on track, I will move along clockwise to that bottom right hand side group, which I don't really have a good name for. Let me know in the comments if you've got a good name for this group. I guess it's the anti anti-ice group, the group that does not like ice very much. We've got the Whiscash, who is going to be running that Mud Bomb Blizzard. We've got Gyarados, who I said before, I kind of prefer Waterfall in my preliminary looks at this meta, but you've certainly got some play for Dragon Breath as well, and maybe even Dragon Tail, although I'm pretty sure that's a legacy move, and I'm not sure. Can you Elite TM Dragon Tail? I feel like you can, but it's a round as well, so I have to be a little bit careful when you are up against Gyarados. I would also recommend that Crunch Aqua Tail, probably the way to go in this meta. I think that Crunch is like the most important, just because Crunch, you're going to be hitting those Psychics that are running around. You're going to hit the Ghost types that might be running around as well. Hello, Frostlass. I didn't quite point right there. And then Aqua Tail is just that extra spam. You've got that same type attack bonus, so it's kind of nice to have. And then Swirless. It's just Dragon Breath. It's only here because it's got Dragon Breath. And essentially, they are going to be beating the majority of this anti-ice group. Wireless has that dark typing, so it's obviously pretty well suited up against the psychic types, for example. And you can kind of just pound down the other poisons. It is a little bit rougher against Malamar, I think, just because Malamar does have that superpower that can definitely hurt. Within their own group, they're very neutral, kind of as you'd expect. Whiscash can beat Zwilus if it lands a Blizzard. Zwilus generally beats Gyarados, and Gyarados generally beats the Whiscash, so that kind of all goes around in their own group. I think Zwilus, if Beedrill is running some sort of like a bug move, like an X-Scissor or a Fell Stinger, I think Beedrill does end up beating out the Zwilus, which is something that you have to be a little bit careful of. But other than that, I think most of that arrow is correct. And then, yeah, as we said before, they're not great up against the ice types, but Wireless does have a little bit of a better time up against that, up against the Lapras. And I think it might have a bit of an okay time up against Celio if Celio is only going for the body slams, instead of going for something like an Aurora Beam that PvPoke will prefer to sim. Like, you know, PvPoke is obviously going to sim it. You get the body slam bait, and then you land the Aurora Beam and like do big damage onto the Wireless. But I think it's a little bit better if they are going straight body slam. But you have to be scared for that Aurora Beam all the time. Jumping over to the bottom left group, though, the anti-ice types. Celio can be a little bit problematic for them. Celio generally has a little bit more play with that Body Slam spam really adding up, especially onto Pokemon like Beedrill. Beedrill generally being on the sort of squishier side, so Body Slam spam can really add up kind of fast, especially, and for some shields as well, which is definitely really nice. Bronzong and Jirachi in their own group, as we said before, generally going to lose to the Dark type on the Drapion. The Drill Run on the Beedrill. So Drill Run on Beedrill actually is like, it does hurt the Steel typing, but overall, I think the confusion damage actually does sort of outpace it as long as they have a shield. So the poison typing kind of holds it back a little bit too much there, whereas Drapion doesn't care as much because it's poison dark, so it's only neutral. So Drapion generally able to take that one out, assuming it does have crunch. But otherwise, I mean, Beedrill does like pretty good up against the Drapion and the Malamar as well, but that's the sort of main triangle of the meta that I'm sort of seeing. But if you look at the side grades here, we have some very, very strong options there. Like I'm saying side grade, but they are definitely some top meta picks. Frostlass in particular is a really scary Pokemon in this meta, and I'm kind of thinking that it is going to be one of the best. It's got good play against Dragons. It's got good play against a Abomasnow. It's got good play up against those Psychic Confusion users because it's got the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball pretty much hurts like everything else anyway except the Dark types. And anything that Shadow Ball doesn't hurt, Avalanche does. It also hurts the other Psychics that are running around in this side grade box. Frostlass is a really powerful Pokemon. It is always a really good Pokemon, especially with an energy advantage. So I kind of think that Frostlass is going to be around a lot. It just does play a little bit differently in that it doesn't love like Drapion, not a great matchup, so it doesn't quite fit into the ice group because there are those dark types that do give it a bit of trouble. Malamar being the other one that has access to foul play there. Alolan Sandslash, also an ice type that you can use, a little bit weak to things like Whiscash. Doesn't like things like a Drill Run from Beedrill, but I guess that's sort of on track with the other ones. It is very much a side grade for the ice types because you're picking up some weaknesses to the group that the ice types are generally beating, but you're picking up some good matchups up against things like Bronzong and Jirachi because you've got that Bulldoze. You're picking up things like that Drapion you said before, so you're kind of changing the matchups a little bit there. So something to look into if you want. I've got Mew, who I think Mew with Flame Charge is going to be a very good Pokemon for this meta. Maybe Flame Charge, Wild Charge even, because Wild Charge going to hit all of those water types really hard. Flame Charge going to hit things like Abomasnow, hit the steel types, and hit Beedrill, bug type. So it's going to, I think Flame Charge, Wild Charge initially seems like a pretty good moveset for Mew. Galarian Rapidash is a pretty interesting one. It's sort of got that fairy typing, so it's a really good counter to the sort of dragons that are running around. It's a little bit weak, so I didn't really want to put it like straight on the main graphic because there is a lot of stuff that does beat it. It's not the best Pokemon in the meta, but I think that a lot of people are probably going to use it. It does have Mega Horn as well, which can obviously hit dark types, psychic types, and a Bomb Snow pretty hard as well if that ends up going through. And then the last one in that side grade box is the Hypno. Hypno has a lot of things that are countering it in this meta, but just because Hypno is a very strong Pokemon, a very bulky Pokemon, has access to Shadow Ball and every elemental punch under the sun, I think that we are still going to see a fair amount of Hypno in this meta. It's always going to be around. If you can use Hypno, people are going to use Hypno. But with that said, I think that is my overview of the Glacial Cup meta. So with that said, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to help support this stuff going on. Catch up on the rest of the Glacial Cup content that will be coming out over the next month. I'm not sure if there's been a battle video that's been released alongside this video. I'm not sure yet. We'll see what time permits. But if that is there, it's going to be on the channel, so you can go take a look at that. Link will be in the description and also on screen in 20-30 seconds or so. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching so far. I've accidentally organized things terribly, so all the Patreon stuff is not quite there. There we go. Thank you to my patrons and supporters over on Twitch for being an absolutely wonderful bunch of people. And yeah, if there is a battle video up, it's going to be over there. If you're not watching this on like the first day of the meta, then there's probably going to be a Glacial Cup video over there anyway. So check them out. Again, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button as well to make sure this video does sort of get out there. And let me know what your sort of first thoughts are about the Glacial Cup. Let me know if there's something that I'm completely missing, because I almost certainly am. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one.